Join us February 7th through the 15th as we're back at the Great American Outdoor Show at the Harrisburg Farm Show Complex. Hey guys, welcome back to the Aftermath podcast. Today's topic is going to be chronographing. So, I have a lot of experience with this.
You do that?
Yeah, that I do it every time I go to ambush, or mostly every time I go to ambush with my team, Bad Influence.
What's a chronograph?
So, a chronograph, funny you should mention that, because we have one right here. No, this one's for guns and arrows and stuff like that, but essentially...
Nerf guns too, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice. But a chronograph is measuring how fast a projectile goes through it, or how fast a projectile is going, or something like that. Close enough.
On this episode of Wikipedia, Frank Dead defines
Wikipedia, the free encyclopedia. No, but yeah, it measures how fast a projectile is moving, so you can determine if it's safe or not to be used during an airsoft game.
Yeah. So for airsoft, it is super important because you're shooting a projectile, and for the sport to be a possible hobby, it has to have some type of regulation. Is that accurate to you guys?
Yeah.
I just have so much to say about this, and in my opinion,
Me too.
I feel like chronoing has always been an issue in airsoft. I'm not saying there aren't fields that take care of it or do it properly, but I have plenty of stories where it's gone wrong, and it's just, I think today it's still an issue, and I've seen a lot of posts about it.
I think it's super important with airsoft, even over paintball. Mm-hmm. It's so much more important with airsoft because you've got such a variation in the replicas
more
and the
control.
BB weights.
You have more, paintball.
And how far they shoot.
Yeah, paintball marks. I'm not saying you can't mess with a paintball gun, but like airsoft, you have like the tank with all the different regulators, and it is like easy to crank up an HPA gun. And that is what I can't, hold on. I cannot stand how HPA gets shit on. I know that it is easier to cheat, but people try and use HPA as an excuse, but you can't defy physics or the facts of how hard guns shoot and blame it on HPA.
Yeah. And then also too, speaking of regulators, a lot of people don't know how to reg lock. That's a really big thing.
Yeah.
That is such an easy thing to do, and people mess it up.
It requires effort though. That's where people lack.
But also too, there's some regs where it's like you can easily just say, "Oh, I don't have this cap," or "Oh, I won't tune it." Like I know redline regs, ballistic regs, amped regs. You can get rid of a cap or a dial, and then
or they have a tournament lock.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry.
The reg has a tournament lock to accept something to lock it.
Yeah,
like
but
collar.
But sometimes
the Polar Star regulators have the MRS regulator has a sleeve that slides down and you put a zip tie over
Yes,
it.
those are some of the good ones.
I know what Frankie's talking about. I'm sorry to jump in here, but some of those regulators, though, where they have the area where you just put a zip tie around the tube, you can easily just force the
out behind you. You can force
it.
Like that, they're like some of those were the worst designs ever for tournament locking. But there's a lot of good ones as well. The ones with slides down over. It, like you said, I think the main thing is just takes.
Or it's like
effort.
one of those regulators where you need the fat zip tie to actually cover the Allen key hole, and everyone only puts a little one on it.
So before we really dive into this, I just want to start off by saying, this is my opinion. It's not all fact. So if I'm saying something that's incorrect, I'm not a physics expert. I'm going to tell you how I think that I know a chrono works, and if it is incorrect, I want you guys to correct me. But I want to start off by this baseline. Whatever airsoft replica you have, whether it's AEG, gas, CO2, HPA, spring, are we all under, do we all agree that if you have a .32 gram BB shooting, let's just say 2 joules, it is always 2 joules out of any of those rifles if you have it set? You're not going to have an HPA shooting a 3.2 at 2 joules and an AEG shooting a 3.2 at 2 joules, and the HPA...
There is actually going to be a difference in the way the barrel actually volumes.
Okay.
And this is kind of an argument that I've made previously.
Okay, yeah.
The thing about HPA, and the part of the reason why I feel it gets that bad rap, is because with things like dwell and pop-it timing, you can properly volume that barrel.
Yeah, okay.
And it will put that cushion of air behind the BB that is correct to keep it consistent.
Yeah.
And I think the second half of that is that most people don't understand the equation, the terminal ballistics equation that you need to know with BBs. Like, for example, a 2.0 that's shooting 400 feet per second out of the barrel where the Chrono is 100 feet away is actually going to be slower than a 3.2 100 feet away.
Yeah, so, but basically, back to what you're saying with, say you Chrono 2 rifles, an AEG and an HPA, and they both Chrono shooting a 3.2 at 2 joules. What you're trying to say, correct me if I'm wrong, is basically because of the tuning on that HPA, it might still be shooting at like a higher number.
It can
further
maintain,
down the road. Yeah, but see where you said
a properly volumed and a properly tuned AEG will do the same thing.
Exactly, but so that being said, I think that people put a twist on it, and because you have those tuning capabilities, they make it seem like that the gun is going to be shooting like 4 joules.
You can edit this out if you want, but I completely disagree.
No, that's fine.
Over my experience with this, we've already done testing on this. An HPA gun, if I shot from my store across the street at that store, and we shot the finest tuned AEG gun at both 2 joules, 0.32 BBs, that BB is going to hit faster over there in the HPA gun than it will the AEG, and its velocity will be kept 40, 50 yards across the street. That BB is still going to hit you. Say, let's get rid of joules. Say it's 400 feet per second coming out of the gun, it's going to hit me over there at about 380, 385 feet per second.
Yeah.
Where that AG is going to hit me over there at 100 feet per second.
Yeah, so you're saying like the HPA, when it's like tuned or whatever, or just in general, it's holding the power longer.
Yeah,
like you're saying that BB...
it's like the air is like a comet around the BB, and it's going to continue to travel with that BB how it's designed, where an AEG, I just don't believe is capable of doing that.
Well, did Tommy test that when the guy across the street mean mugged him?
Tommy, but I'm just saying, like,
well, and
I don't know that I'm right. I'm just saying, over the years of you're talking of the first player to ever have an HPA gun at ambush was me.
Okay.
Nice.
When Polar Stars first came out, we were friends with them guys. The first time they ever demoed one at an event, we were like, thought it was gay at first, and we're like, no, this is pretty awesome how they shoot. But we were shit on like crazy when we first because we were shredding people. But we also were chronoing with FPS back then and not joules. So the joule creep was real.
Yep.
It is.
We'll bring up
real.
joule creep.
And it was destroying.
Yeah.
So anyway, you can edit all this out if you want.
No, this is all
this
good.
Is
this is good. But I want to say, so let's say we disagree or whatever. Do you think that if what you're saying is true, that say that you have a properly tuned, or just HPA in general, you're saying that HPA, the BB can hold energy longer. Do you think that is a reason to ban HPA?
No.
Okay, see, that's what I think
if you HPA gets a bad rap, the only people giving HPA a bad rap are the people that are not HPAing.
That's true. I think that's a huge
You know what I'm
part
saying?
of them.
Yeah. If you go back, HPA's rap was 1,000,000 times worse 10 years ago when HPAs first became a thing.
Well, it was so
literally,
expensive.
people want to be banned from fields and like, I had my guns turned down to like 280 feet per second, and they're still lying, and I'm shredding them and stuff like that. But then everyone started buying them, and I don't think it's as bad now as it was, but you still get the people right away, all them HPAers, or because ambush has, anyone who plays an ambush knows ambush has more HPA guns than probably anywhere in the country.
Yeah, so I do definitely agree to an extent. If you have a properly tuned gun, or honestly, I think we all might have this experience where we've thrown together a gun and just kind of slapped it together, and it just like shot so good. And it's just honestly, I think it's because you end up getting that perfect volume. Yeah. Same thing with like a spring sniper rifle. You get the volume.
To Paul's point, I will agree and disagree because there has to be a reason in physics for that difference. Okay? If you put the same amount of compressed air at the same PSI in a barrel with the same weight in front of it, there has to be something different to get a different result.
like a barrel length.
A barrel length, barrel
Yeah.
diameter, the amount of air that's being put into it.
But an AEG isn't generating
Yeah, so
the same
that's-
amount of
that's-
PSI
so that's the
as
thing.
an HPA gun.
An
is
That's
generating.
that's the difference in the argument
Yeah,
there, though. Is
that's why if you really
the-
want to dive into like how they work, like
Mhm.
an AEG, it's a piston and a cylinder,
spring.
right? Okay,
Yeah, it's pushed by a
And
spring, and
you
that's
can
not
ob-
consistent.
Yeah, and you can obviously change like piston lengths and you can change volume, but HPA you can physically change like how long the nozzle's open for like a millisecond.
Yeah, the dwell.
How bit like if you look at an airsoft gun shooting, it's a puff of air, but you can really manipulate that puff of air with an HPA.
And I believe that is why the HPA gets that rap.
Yeah.
Because it can be tuned so much more precisely.
Exactly.
And also it can be tuned after chrono as well.
Yeah, but see
that irritates me because you can go chrono at a certain PSI, go screw with your dwell,
Yep.
and now you've got a full on.
Yeah.
Well, with that being
Yep.
said, if we're gonna talk like, I feel like that's getting back to like another topic we did before about like cheaters.
yeah.
Like if you're a
This
cheater,
all
you're gonna
ties
if
in.
you're a cheater, you're gonna cheat no
Yeah.
matter what. We had problems back when we first started playing airsoft about a pretty prestige team. I won't mention them because I don't know if they're still around or not. But in airsoft, they would go chrono and then completely change their upper receivers after chrono.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
So like if you're gonna cheat, a cheater's gonna cheat no matter what.
see the whole
Yeah.
whole thing about this being a chrono episode is I don't like that they blame HPA because while I agree that it is easier for people to cheat and they do have an advantage with the tuning capabilities, there are just too many variables that I don't think it's fair to just shit on HPA. Like for
Well, yeah.
example, think about hop up, right? It's part of airsoft, the hop up adjustment.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you chrono your gun with the hop up off, and then you
Turn
get
it
it to
on.
pass, like other platforms are different, but I know with a sniper rifle, my Spring VSR-10, if I go chrono it with the hop up off, it is going to chrono substantially lower.
Is it?
You can argue it.
So I've honestly
Yeah.
I set my my hop up to shoot as flat as I can for the BBs
Yeah.
I'm shooting,
Yeah.
and then I go. I've
See-
never even
see,
thought
that's,
about.
That's how you should do it. When you chrono, if you're like a true honest player, in my opinion, you should have your gun shooting exactly how you are going to take it onto the field.
Yeah.
Here's
I'm
an
not-
example, Greg, that
Yeah.
what he's saying about, and you do know about, you just don't realize. AAPO1s. You
Right.
the gun comes turned off completely. You chrono it. It shoots 50 to 60 feet per second less than
No
if you
shit.
adjust the hop
Yeah.
up a hair.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
On
because that
gun.
backspin is somehow adding magic
No,
and
no,
energy
it-
and
it-
physics, and
no,
that's,
it's
that's
not.
why.
Yeah.
It's
better?
because
Yeah.
the BB is not staying in the chamber. That the hop up tension or the nub actually
Holds it back.
holds the
Well,
BB in
it's
place.
different. It all depends on the bucking. You can have them where some guns you turn the hop off and you tilt the gun down, the BB will roll out the barrel.
Yeah,
but
that's
most
probably
buckings,
AT.
That's
especially
actually a common complaint I get with hacking.
yeah, exactly. You have to turn
Yeah.
on just a little bit. But most buckings nowadays, if the nub might be big enough that with the hop off, it depends on like the bucking and the nub you're using, but like it could stay in the chamber. But regardless, my specific sniper rifle right here, if I were to go chrono it with the hop up off, and so this is not to like bring up cheating, but people cheat all types of ways. And one thing that people do, like people adjust regulators and that whole thing
Well, I
is cheating.
think the chrono conversation is kind of adjacent to cheating.
Yeah, but like
Yeah.
people will chrono their guns with the hop off.
Look at the
It
guys
will
at Ambush that
pass.
stole zip ties and had all the color zip ties and
Yeah.
zip tying their guns.
Oh, yeah,
Like
that's
people
right.
are gonna
Yeah.
do what they gotta do to cheat. But I back to the chrono thing. I feel like a lot of fields do not understand how chronoing works.
Right.
And then people, honestly, I don't even think it's always people cheating. I think it's them not knowing how the chrono works because it's some young kid that's working on the weekends and he's like,
Half
oh,
the time
yeah,
do
you're
they
good.
care?
Exactly.
Yeah, the halftime we don't care.
Exactly. I will tell you a story. The perfect example. I went to a field and I was sniping as per usual. And on
Wait,
three,
you were?
yeah,
Oh
absolutely.
my god!
On at
doesn't
least
he?
two or
Blind sniper sniping?
two or three different occasions, it was something different. The one time they put BBs in my mag and we chronoed it. Okay. The next time I went back, they used the BBs that I had and I was using 4.8s and their chart only went up to 4.0 and it was like this big thing. The next time I went back, I was walking to the chrono and this ref kid was like, "Hey, is that a sniper rifle?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm going to chrono." He's like, "Oh, you don't have to chrono sniper rifles." And I was like, of all rifles, this should be the one you chrono because it
Yeah.
has the highest limits. And the same field in the same season, I had those three different things, and it's like think about every other field out there. These motherfuckers don't know what they're doing. Like they
Yeah.
don't, and that causes all kinds of chrono issues.
Too many fields too. You'll have a player crying like, I just got this gun. I can't help it shoots hot or
Yep.
whatever, and they let him go. They slide him by him like, oh, just treat it like a sniper. No, bull crap. If it doesn't pass,
Yep.
It doesn't.
pass.
It doesn't pass. It doesn't pass. And if
That's kind of
I-
why I'm a strong proponent of the DMR has to be a large caliber rifle
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Because when we would run games, we would get these kids coming up to Chrono with an ARP-9
Yeah.
shooting hotter than the assault class.
Oh, it's a
Yeah.
DMR.
Oh,
no,
it's a DMR.
It's not.
How
No,
the
it's not.
hell am I supposed to keep track of that on the field?
Exactly.
how the hell did you get an ARP-9 shooting that hot?
I mean,
Crank your
I'm,
reg,
I'm
bro.
using a fairly
No.
extreme example. It's rare, but I did, and also, for what is it, 1.55 joules?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not that difficult to get above that, even with an ARP-9.
No, I mean like 2 joules with an ARP-9.
Oh well, that's a little nuts.
I mean,
But here's
honestly,
the thing: if the assault limit is 155 and you're at 1.6, you're just gonna all of a sudden say you're a DMR,
No.
because that's the line is where the line is.
Yeah.
Chrono is there for a reason.
Yeah.
Because there's we never did minimum engagements, so you don't want someone rolling up on you with that sniper rifle. And
Yeah.
he doesn't even like it when
I
I do
would
that
have
without
done
a
to
gun.
Frankie. Only to Frankie. though.
Only Frankie.
There has to be a baseline. Like, obviously, we're basically saying what's the point of chronoing because there's so many variables, but you have to chrono.
Well, yeah.
But the
Yeah.
problem is, like, I feel like these fields, they don't even just do the basics, which is chrono 1. Like, I know fields that they don't check anything. Like,
Yeah.
you could show up and walk onto the field with
Yeah.
probably a real gun,
Yeah.
and nobody would know because they don't check.
Yeah.
You know what? Speaking kind of adjacent to that, I had someone. So I help with the Chrono Ambush. I don't know if I already said that, but
Frankie
I had
helps with the Chrono at ambush.
no. I had someone walk up with a BB gun, like a legit BB gun, and we were like, all right, let's put our BBs in the bag. I'm like, it's not going in. And I look at it, it says 177. I'm like, yeah, this is a BB gun. Yeah,
Think
no.
about going to the field and some kid didn't know and thought this gun Santa brought him he could use, and he goes out in the field and shoots someone with that.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's happened multiple times where people brought BB guns. We've had that at our events before too, where people are like, "Can I use this?" No.
I've
No.
heard rumors at a field in Maryland that apparently someone was using metal BBs. I don't know how true it was, but I also take everything I hear with a grain of
Well,
salt. Like, did
that's
that
like the
actually
urban
happen?
legend, like the frozen paintball thing.
Mhm.
Everybody and their mother has told me I used to freeze paintballs back
We
in
had.
the day.
I was at a Black Sheep event long time ago at Camp Shelby, Mississippi, and they stopped the game because someone was shooting ceramic BBs shot through someone's mesh and through their cheek into their mouth
Oh.
Yeah.
with a ceramic BB.
Oh, I got something even better. Last February, that we had a gun come to the shop for repair. It was an SSG-10, and we didn't know what was wrong with it. Yeah, we didn't know what was wrong with it, and I looked at the mag. It was loaded with like lead BBs for like buckshot.
Yeah, see,
And then I tried clearing the barrel, and it was jammed in the barrel. I have proof. I have pictures.
I know. I
have
saw
pictures.
the
Yeah.
gun. That's crazy.
Who's
Yeah.
gonna cheat?
yeah,
Cheater's
see,
gonna cheat.
a
No,
lot-
that's
so-
they're.
a lot of the
They're an idiot.
mindset is people. I think that the people that do cheat with HPA, they're shooting and they suck possibly, and their gun isn't hitting the people, and they just think they're cheating, and they're like, oh, I'll show them, and their mindset is like, well, I'll just turn my gun up so they feel it. It's like, I mean, honestly, maybe you just weren't even hitting them, and then it just like
Yeah.
escalates from there. And but I will give this to Ambush. I'm not a complete fan. I also like got burnt out playing there so much that I just had to
Yeah.
stop going. But I have never seen a field like them that chronos. Like, you go in and you pay, you get a wristband, and you go chrono. That's what you're supposed to do. Before you go out to the field, you stand at this little narrow cubby, and there are multiple refs standing there, and you have to have your wristband showing and your gun with your chrono showing. I'm not saying people can't cheat that system, but they actually make sure that everything, your wristband
Yeah.
and tag to go out.
And-
And no other field I've ever been to does
See,
that.
most of the indoor fields that I've played at, to get into the field, it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
fields would just simply follow that, it would
yeah.
because honestly, a lot of thing comes down to effort, And if some cheaters have to put in more effort, I'm not saying it still won't happen, but they'll be like, oh, that's just too much work to go through all that.
Yeah.
So you have to put in more effort to like get through the system
Yep.
to shoot your like illegal ass gun.
Yeah.
So we're gonna wrap this one up.
Yep.
Okay. I have one closing thought with Chrono, and I want everybody to just kind of pay attention a little bit to this one. All right. As a player, I want everybody to understand it, and I think you guys will agree with me. These fields have their chrono limits and their rate of fire and all of these rules in place for a reason.
Yep.
Don't be that guy. Don't argue with the guy at the chrono. He's doing what the boss told him to do. If the gun doesn't make muster, this is why we bring more than one gun to the field with us. Okay? Don't argue, don't yell, don't throw a hissy fit. If you can alter your gun to get under chrono limit, do it. But just follow the rules. Chronos are there for a reason. That's kind of why we did this whole episode.
Yeah.
Right?
Also, I don't like picking BBs on my skin.
That too.
Yeah, just make sure your gun is shooting within limits, and honestly, just have your gun set up to shoot the way you would shoot it on the field, and I think you'll be in good shape.
Yep. That being said, thanks for joining us for this one. Call your hits.